Welcome to the new and improved Create Media Farm with rates of 240 quenched allay blocks per hour. Made to fit a 4x4x4 cube of pure joy with almost zero player input needed. Sea urchin at the beach whispered to me,
"This is the best media farm you'll ever see."
and then I built it. Now enjoy this idiot attempting to explain what they cannot fathom.
Now, this farm is an improvement on my previous design, which is linked in the description. It is, I would consider, much more practical than the previous farm, but first things first, it is a tiny bit slower. So if you care about that, that might be relevant to you. But it has a few upsides, which I will list, which I think made it just much more practical. So, firstly, it only uses one pickaxe. It doesn't use a Fortune 3 pickaxe as the other version does, which means you're not going to have to be replacing Fortune 3 pickaxes, which, depending where you are in the progression of your game, could be a very expensive cost. And also, it's just inconvenient to have to replace two pickaxes. One is the minimum you can get if you're getting Quenched allay here, so, you know, I think that's a worthy trade-off there. Secondly, this has an easy use on-off switch. You can just quickly switch the whole thing off just like that, and turn it back on whenever, if you ever have any issues with the farm, need to refill it, whatever, which the other one did not feature. And I think this will just make your life a lot easier in setup and all that sort of thing. Thirdly, the focus features a safety lock, which means that if the allay count gets below a certain number, then it's not going to run. This means you're not going to run out of allays while it's running, so you're going to be safe in that regard, which is quite useful. And it also makes the setup part of the farm easier, which is very useful. Now, when you're setting up this farm, one thing to note, it takes power through this cogwheel specifically, and it takes it at 256 RPM, but the orientation of it does not matter. And for the focus, which you'll need to run this farm, down here, you get that on the forums, okay? You can join the Discord if you want, but I think the easiest place is the forums. But the Discord, I'm planning to do a few other Hexcasting related things if that's something you care about, I don't know, but yeah, I would recommend the forums over other things. Now, to build this farm, you'll need these materials, which translates into these raw materials, and as I showed before, these materials to set the farm up. Notably, Flame Mind, also Silk Touch, and you don't need it, Great Teleport would be useful, and you don't need Unbreaking, but it'll make your pickaxes last much longer. Another few progression locks is, we've got Brass here, we've got Purple, which means end progression, Charge Amethyst, if that's a thing for you. You know, it's a fairly late on farm, I'd say, but the rates are really quite unparalleled. It's pretty good. Now, I'll get to the tutorial for building the farm over here. So, what you'll have is the setup chest over here. I'll have these things in it. So, let's take a schematic table and get the schematic for the farm. I've got a few different versions, but you're only going to have one, so don't worry about that. I would build this in using a schematic cannon. I'm in Create, luckily, so I don't have to worry about that. But when you're doing this, you're going to want to have a schematic cannon built in, put all the blocks in a chest, all that sort of thing. I can just paste it in, luckily. And one thing to note, if you're building this in a server with other people, you might have to change the focus, or not the focus, the redstone link filter here to make sure nobody else is on the same channel, if maybe they built the same farm or something similar. It would also allow them to interfere if you use the cookie cutter one. It's up to you though. Okay. Once you've done this, oh yeah, one other thing to note actually is that when you're pasting it in, you can rotate it about however you like, but don't reflect it. If you do, you can try and mess on the focus with it, but it just makes it a little bit more tricky. Now, come back to this. Let's grab the resources that we'll need. So that's this, all of this. We'll come back to these later. So, first things first, hook it up to your rotational power source. 256 RPM, just like that. Then, you can pop your pickaxe in here. Now, just come over here and pop the music disc into this hopper. And then you can start putting your media in. So, firstly, come down here and put your block of amethyst in here. It's going to place there. Then, you can take 3 stacks of amethyst. You've got to do this a little bit quickly. So, you go bum, bum, bum. There you go. Now, just to make sure we don't waste too much. If you do get a couple blocks of amethyst out of this thing, that's fine. There should be enough to back it up. But if you end up losing a lot, just chuck some extra amethyst in this machine somewhere. It'll be alright. Then, this is a little bit complicated. Put this in. Reverse the orientation of this funnel. Pop another stack in and reverse it back. Then, the remaining amount you've got, just throw that into this chute down here. 1, 2. Like that. Perfect. Now, you're in a good position to write the slates to the spell circle. Again, these slates are going to be on the forums. They'll be on the Discord. You know, you got to be careful with these. Some of them are a little bit sneaky. So, for instance, I think these 3 are a little bit unambiguous. This is entity purification, not zone distillation. Gemini decomposition. This is Chronicler's reflection, okay? Big one like this, 2 wide. Flux decomposition. Prospector's gambit. Hermes gambit. Okay? Don't be careful. This is one of the most common errors I've seen people make with this one. Make sure that this is Chronicler's reflection, right? Right. And similar thing with the focus over here. If we come and grab this, so you'll see here I haven't put it in the thing yet. So what I'll do is I'll grab my staff. What you do is once you've got this written out, it'll look like this. Don't mind that. Here, it'll look like this. Notably, where is it? Over here. That is Chronicler's Gambit. Big one, okay? Also, the number that's somewhere along here, down here, this is 72. And there's a couple other things like that. Again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post the forums, the code thing, so if you ever have any questions about what pattern it is, just refer to that. And also, what I'll do is I'll flash up, there'll be a screenshot of some better rendered, the forums has a nice little rendering thing for it. You'll be able to refer to that as well, you might be able to tell easier. Right. Once you've gotten that written out, which you might, oh yeah, if you don't know, you can split up this spell into multiple parts and save it in a focus and draw it and piece it together if you don't have enough space. Okay. Once you've done that, take the value of 1/4, like this, and then put that into a list of length 2. I like to do that with Flux Gambit. And then you can just write to that focus again. And once you've done that, just pop that into that item frame. I've made a copy because I'm creative, but you won't. And then now, this isn't going to be working because you haven't got an allay in there. So, all we need to do is move our allay into the machine. How we're going to do that, there's a few different methods, but personally, I'm going to grab myself a scrying lens. I think the easiest is as follow. I'm going to do a zone distillation for living things, so centered on me, and that'll get the allay. I'm going to take that allay. Now I've got the allay, I need to get a target position, which is this block over here. So I'm just going to stand here, and the way I find it easiest to do is to get the block I'm looking at and then go 1 block behind it, but there's a few different ways to do this. So, you know, get creative if you want. So let's find my block, and then find the normal, and then subtracting that steps us 1 behind, so that's our target position. I can bring this up. And the rest of these steps I would recommend doing all at once, because if the ally is allowed to move, then it very well could change position in the teleport process and end up somewhere it's not meant to be. This is where we can use our greater teleport, to verify this is used in the creation of the focus. And once we've got this, we can just run this, and this will take our allay into the machine as such. And that is the hard part done. Don't worry, the allay has regeneration, it's not going to burn to death. All we need to do from here is wait. Our allay is going to breed. Our allay has breeding delay, so you'll probably have to wait 5 minutes, but wait until there's 4 allays in the machine. Once that's the case, you can just go in there and split them up. I can do it in like this because I'm in creative, but you know, you'll have to use impulse or some other similar method, whatever you've got available. Just make sure they're in 4 corners, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you've got that, just leave the machine. It should be ready to go. If you have any issues with stuff running out, maybe you've had some issues loading it up, try checking some more amethyst in, make sure the amethyst block is there, that sort of thing. If you keep having issues, feel free to message me. But that's pretty much it. So, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy the farm.